Recording in progress.
Hey Tyler, how you doing? Good. You've played a lot of football games with Nick and Katron. The way they have been producing, and specifically Katron, kind of stepping up here the last few matchups in the postseason, how does it change the ceiling for this offense when you guys put a game plan together and the opponent has to deal with you've put on film?
Yeah, I think when those guys are going, obviously the run game, really in any football game, is going to be really important. So having that is huge for us as an offense. And like you said, when you have more than, we have a pass game, we have a run game, we have a lot of different things you have to defend. That obviously is going to help us and be able to let us do a lot of different things. So yeah, it's been great, and I think this is as good a time as any for them to be playing the way they have been. So it's been awesome, to be able to block for them, and the way they run the ball has been great.
And then Mike.
Hey, Tyler, how are you?
Good.
Obviously, I assume you've watched a lot of Notre Dame so far. What has impressed you most about watching them, and what did you see against Georgia specifically that makes their defense impressive?
Yeah, I think they do. They do it really well, and it's not going to be they're not going to try and really change what they do based off someone else. They're going to do what they do best, and I think they got a lot of talent all over. I know they got some talented guys in their secondary, and they got some talented D ends and D linemen. So I think it's going to be a really good defense, and we're going to have a great week of preparation. But yeah, we got a lot of respect for them, and they've played some really good games towards the back end of the season.
We'll go to a Zoom question. Max, Ralph, and then Mike, you're next.
Hey, Tyler, thanks for the time. Drew made mention of the fact that Notre Dame's secondary is really tall. They don't have a guy under 6 foot. Xavier Watts at safety is one of the better players in the country. Does a matchup like that with guys who may be able to cover a guy with your skill set in a different way excite you?
Oh yeah, I mean I think that's kind of what playoff football is about, and playing this late in the year, you get the chance to play really good players and really good teams, and yeah, like you said, they have a great secondary, so we know it'll be a challenge for us, and we're gonna have to do our job the best of our abilities and make sure we're doing everything the right way and getting our jobs done as well.
Over here in the front, Mike.
Over here, Tyler. How are you?
Good.
The growth of Drew, what have you seen in his time here, and how has it happened, and what does he do best these days?
Yeah, I think really this whole season, just kind of the way he's managed the offense. You've seen his natural ability to play football and make the big throws and stuff like that. But kind of his way to have us all on the same page and kind of be the leader of an offense, which you need out of a quarterback. I think has kind of been his biggest step into this season, and it's been awesome to see. And you kind of see his confidence. You can kind of see it a little bit more now in the field, and I think that's been really big for him and our offense in general.
We'll stay on Zoom. Devin Jackson, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey Tyler, thanks for the time. Wanted to ask, obviously you spend time blocking with offensive linemen. Wanted to ask about Drew Shelton and his development, and being a guy that's come in and replaced Olu, who's gone off to the NFL.
Yeah, I think Drew's biggest thing when he came in was his athletic ability, and he's kind of been able to keep that. Obviously, he had to put on some weight, but I think the job he's done at keeping what was his best attribute was the athleticness, and then being able to put that weight on, I think has been really good for him. Obviously, being able to move at left tackle, there's some of the best athletes in the world, the guys that can really play left tackle, and he's one of them. So just having a guy like that, obviously replacing Olu is hard to do, but he's been a really great left tackle for us, and he's a great teammate and a great friend. So it's been awesome to kind of see him do well this year.
We'll stay on Zoom. John Petishnock.
Tyler, this has been quite the season for Penn State football. 13 wins in a season for the first time in program history. You look at the games you've played and now going to the Orange Bowl. Beyond competing for a national championship, have you allowed yourself to just stop and think about kind of the time and place that you guys have Penn State football in right now?
Yeah, I think honestly, when you're in the moment, it's hard to kind of look around and enjoy it. But I think it'll definitely be, when the season is over, kind of looking back at it and being proud of it and kind of proud of what this team was able to do will definitely be something that won't be hard to do. But there is moments where you're kind of, right when you run out of the tunnel or when you come out for warm-ups before it's in the actual game, you can kind of look around and enjoy it. But it is pretty fast-paced and there's a lot going on because when you do win, it's pretty much right into the next week and you got to start getting ready for the next opponent. So it's been fast, but it's been a lot of fun.
Let's go to Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.com.
Tyler, thanks for your time. I mean, you've been used in so many different ways this year by Coach Kudlnicki. I'm wondering what it's been like going through that all year, and do you think you still have ways to throw defenses off, even though there's obviously a lot more tape on your offense than there was at the start of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always probably he's going to come up with another wrinkle to put in our offense. But I think also at this point of the season, doing what we do best and having our bread and butter is a big deal. And I think we've kind of had that going with our run game. Getting that going has been really good for us. So really having little tweaks here and there is important, but also being able to trust what your offense does best, I think is huge in these later games in the season.
Let's go to Mason Smith, York Daily Record.
Hey, Tyler, thanks for your time. I know Coach Franklin talked earlier about the underrated play and the growth of the wide receiver room. Obviously, there's a huge point of contention with that. But what do you kind of notice in the room how the wide receivers, yourself, Amari, Trey, all kind of come together to really perform well in the passing game?
Yeah, I think part of it is getting the run game going, because a lot of times a way to make your run game more explosive is having the receivers make the 1 or 2 blocks on the perimeter that might take it from 10 yards to a 25-yard run. So that's been good. So obviously having the run game going is going to open up the pass game. I think that's kind of been the biggest thing towards the end of this year, how we kind of picked it up. Having Omari on the deep shots when you can get the safeties to come up a little bit, respecting the run a little bit more. I think it's been really good, for our offense as a whole.
Tyler, you mentioned having Omari and hitting some of those deep shots. I mean, how much does that change opposing defenses when you are able to hit on a couple of those early, like we saw against Boise State?
Yeah, I think it's big for us. Obviously, it kind of just helps us stretch the field out more and have more areas that the defense knows they have to defend based off of what guys are capable of. So I think that's going to help us out. Just having more space that they have to be worried about is a big part of offensive football. Being able to spread them out is big. So that's been awesome.
Any more? We got John right here.
Tyler, how have you seen Amari grow off the field since he got here?
Yeah, I think he's been a similar guy. He's kind of a laid back guy. He's not, you might not notice him when he walks in the room. He's not gonna. Yeah, see, I didn't even notice him standing in the room over here. But yeah, he's been awesome. He's kind of been the same guy even through the ups and downs. So it's been fun to kind of see him pick it up and get some recognition towards the end of the year. But yeah, that's a prime example of it right there.
We got 2 more, Tyler and then T-Frank.
Tyler, James a little while ago told us that Nick has a decision to make about his future. He says they hope he's back in 2025, but if he moves on, they're going to do the best they can to get him drafted as high as possible. You had a similar decision last year, last December. What was the feedback like from Penn State when you're working your way through that? And ultimately, how did they fulfill some of the promises or some of the path that they laid out for you last winter, this year?
Yeah, I think when I was in that situation, it wasn't necessarily them like trying to pull me away from one decision or the other. It was just them giving their side of the story, and then they'd also show me all the benefits if I decided to make a different decision than I did. So I think that's kind of what they do well. Is it's not we don't want you to do this. It's more this is what this would look like. This is what this would look like, and it's really up to that person and what's best for them to make the decision. But yeah, I mean they've been great, and I think. There's no right answer in those situations for a lot of guys, and I feel like I was kind of in a similar situation where it would have been good if I decided to leave or good if I came back. So it's really up to the person, but they're great with it, and they're going to take care of you either way. So it's been good.
Tyler, how you doing?
Good.
PFF says that you've caught 61% of your contested catches this year, which is a really impressive number. And I always think back to, I think it was your first touchdown against Rutgers back in 2021. It just seems like it's been a natural skill for you throughout the years. So how do you develop something like that? And what do you credit to in that moment of having to make a catch with somebody, right there on top of you when you're trying to do it?
I'd say kind of the natural part of it, I would give credit to the playing multiple sports and playing basketball and baseball as well as football, kind of having different hand-eye coordinations with different types of catches, basketball going up where it's a rebound, alley-oop, stuff like that. And I think a big part of it also goes to the way we practice and the situation. Coach Franklin puts us in during practice where we got one-on-one red zone reps in front of the whole team and everybody's watching, and you got to go up and make a play in front of everybody. It's probably more nerve-wracking doing it in there amongst your peers than when you're in a stadium filled with a bunch of people. So I think that kind of is a credit to him and the way he runs our program and kind of how we go after each other every day in practice.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.